Howdy folks, and welcome back to another video. I'm sorry if I sound a little off today. That would be because I'm sick, but I've been waiting long enough and it's been a while since I've posted a proper commentary video, so I decided I was going to record anyways just because it doesn't hurt to talk anymore, but I do still sound a little bit off. So after the positive reaction I got to my video about hacking and how to avoid getting hacked and protect yourself, I decided to make a similar video about different scams in Animal Jam, what they look like and how to avoid them. Of course, while I'm going to do my best in this video to cover all different kinds of scams that I know of, I'm inevitably going to miss a type of scam, and in the future, I'm sure that scammers are going to come up with new ways to scam, so this video will probably not have every single thing, so if I missed something or there's a scam that you've heard about that I haven't mentioned, feel free to bring it up in the comments section to bring it to other people's attention. I would appreciate that so much, so thank you guys, and I hope you enjoy the video. I wanted to start with a category of scams that involves purchasing items for real money. It's worth mentioning that you should not, under any circumstance, buy items from Animal Jam with real-world currency on eBay, Mercari, or any other purchasing website. That is against Animal Jam's terms of service, and doing so can end up with you losing real-life money or having your account permanently banned. That being said, there is a scam that was circulating around that's part of the community where people were claiming to be selling items for real-life money, and people would purchase these items from them. However, the people would never actually give you the items in-game, thereby taking your money and pretty much running away with it. The best way that you can avoid this is by not breaking Animal Jam's terms of service and just earning your items in-game by trading instead of buying it with real money. There's actually a lot more reasons why you shouldn't buy items with real money, which I did cover in my hacking video, so please check that out, and please, under no circumstances, purchase items with real money. Additionally, it is worth mentioning that there are people out there claiming to be selling items for real money who are impersonating users from Animal Jam. They are using photos of different people's alpha items that they do not own, which is awful because there are people who are being impersonated who then are having their reputation ruined and being claimed to be scammers even though they are not the people scamming people out of real money. This is crazy. If you want to avoid being impersonated for this kind of scam, it is important that you make sure that your alpha items are set to private so people cannot view who owns that alpha item. This doesn't mean that people will not use your alpha item to scam. They can still take photos or screenshots of your alpha item and claim that it's theirs. However, with the user identification off on the alpha item, it can't be traced back to you. So if someone does impersonate you, people will not go after you for it. On the topic of buying things, there are a few scams that involve my shops in Animal Jam. For starters, there are the quote-unquote gem shops that can scam members out of sapphires. People do this by placing what seems to be a gem shop full of a ton of items for a cheap amount of gems, typically for like 1,000 gems or 2,000 gems. However, mixed in with these items will be other items that cost sapphires around the same amount. So, for example, mixed in with a bunch of items priced for 1,000 gems will be an item priced for 1,000 sapphires. This can easily catch a member who has a high amount of sapphires off guard and can have them ending up purchasing the sapphire items as well as the gem items, therefore putting them out of sapphires when they originally intended to only purchase it for gems. The best way you can avoid getting scammed in this way is by making sure and double-checking every time you purchase an item that you're purchasing it for gems or for the correct amount of sapphires instead of overpaying. Unfortunately, it's really difficult to get any sort of recompense from getting scammed from this, since technically it is the own user's fault for not double-checking and noticing what it was they were buying. But this isn't the only scam that comes with my shops. Another way jammers may use my shops in order to scam people is by claiming that they'll give you some sort of prize for purchasing from their shop. They may say something ridiculous like they'll give you teal forest for purchasing the 50 sapphire pet in their shop. Or sometimes it's something a little bit more believable, like it's buy one get one free. However, lo and behold, you'll buy from their shop and you will not get the prize they promised. This is a very common scam, and chances are you've seen it at least once or twice. The best way to avoid this scam is just don't believe it. If it's too good to be true, it's probably not true. So if someone's going around claiming to give you a prize for purchasing from their shop, if it's not already at a price you feel comfortable buying it for, don't buy it because you most likely won't get that promised reward. The last scam that I can think of that involves my shops isn't my shop exclusive. This is a scam that can be done in trades or in my shops, and that is trading for or buying something for more than the allotted amount of trade spaces or 5,000 sapphires. For example, trading for an item for more than 24 other items, or buying something out of shop for more than 5,000 sapphires. Doing this will require you to trade more than once or to buy more than one item. For example, if you're buying teal forests for 25,000 sapphires, this means that you'll have to buy 5 items for 5,000 sapphires, typically meaning 4 junk items for 5,000 and 1 teal forest for 5,000. This can easily lead to you being scammed just by someone putting 4 of the junk items in shop, having you buy all 4 junk items, receiving the 20,000 sapphires, and then locking you out of their den, putting you out of 20k, and not giving you the teal forest. This is done with lesser items too, such as items that people may want to purchase for 8,000 or 10,000. Pretty much any purchase that is over 5,000 sapphires. The best way to avoid getting scammed this way is to A, not go first. Purchase the teal forest for 5,000 first, and then purchase the junk items for 5,000. However, that can be a risk on the other person's behalf, because you could easily purchase the teal forest for 5,000 and then disappear before buying the junk items. So there is a method which scammers have made to get around this sort of issue. The best way to stay safe in these transactions is to see if the person you're trading with or buying from has any vouches. This means they will have some sort of people or video evidence backing them up to prove that they're trustworthy. This could be some trusted members within the community saying that they've purchased from them or traded with them before and that they did not scam them, or video evidence that they've done big trades and big purchases like this before. Some people like to collect videos and kind of recommendation letters from people in Discord or on Instagram. So if you're making a big purchase with someone, you might want to check to see if they have social media first. Another more controversial method of scamming is called price manipulation. This is when someone will trade you or try to buy from you and claim that the item that they're trying to trade you is worth a lot more than it actually is. This is most easily affecting people who have not been in the game for a while, or people who are not really brushed up on their worth. There is a lot of debate from what I have heard as to whether this is scamming or not, because some people just might not actually know, and so it's very difficult to find out whether you're calling someone out for being a scammer by doing this, or if you just happen to be trading with someone who doesn't know worth. Now, avoiding price manipulation can be pretty tricky, but there's 2 ways to go about it. One is the more obvious one, which is just double check, know your worth. You could check the Worth Wiki, but sometimes that is outdated and that's not your best option. I would also suggest joining some Animal Jam Discord servers, or jagging some buddies, asking them what they think about the trade, or posting on Reddit and asking people what they think about the trade. Get some second opinions if it's a big trade that you have strong feelings about. If you do get affected by this, however, it's kind of important to make sure that you were in fact scammed, because sometimes there's just misunderstandings where a new jammer may think that they have something worth, and you may not know what you have, and there's just a lot of gray area there where something is worth manipulation or where something isn't worth manipulation, and just a big misunderstanding between 2 people who don't understand worth. So just kind of be careful with what you're trading, and don't make a trade unless you are 100% sure that you're comfortable with that trade and will be happy with it. You can't guarantee trade backs. Some people do say they'll do trade backs and then don't do trade backs, but generally it's an all sales final kind of thing, so you want to make sure you're happy with the trade before you end it. Now I'm going to go over some older trades that definitely started out on Animal Jam Classic but are still around and kicking on Playwild today, starting with flash trading. Flash trading has taken a little bit of a different meaning nowadays, where people will trade you very quickly, typically with the trade chat off, and for the same item over and over again. They'll tell you maybe that their game is glitching, or maybe they won't say anything at all. They're just going to repeatedly trade you with what seems to be a really good offer. However, the last time where they finally do get to accept it, they'll remove something major from their offer and pretty much try to get you to accept really quickly out of paranoia that the trade will cancel or will fail. Pretty easy way to avoid that is if something like this is happening, because we all know Animal Jam is full of its glitches, don't just accept a trade out of gut instinct or like need for quick reaction. Make time to double check, make sure that the trade is as it should be, even if the game is glitching. Maybe that means that you might miss out on a good trade, but overall, you would rather take that risk and trade again in the future than lose your items. And for another older scam, this one's kind of the poster child, kind of what everyone thinks about when you talk about Animal Jam scamming, and that's trust trading. Trust trading is one of the easier ones to avoid. It's pretty much when someone tries to manipulate you, either through like guilt tripping, or they'll say that they want to try on your items. Pretty much what they'll do is they'll tell you to trust them with your items through some means. For example, a more modern iteration of this is people asking to borrow stuff like rainbow pets or painted eggs for missions, and you just gotta trust that they'll give it back to you. The biggest way to avoid getting scammed from a trust trade is just not trusting people with your items. Just in general, don't give someone something for nothing unless you 100% are best friends with this person and you can trust them for sure 100%. And even then, there's no guarantee, because I've seen people build entire friendships just to steal items. How messed up is that? But generally, just don't give away stuff to people unless you are happy never getting it back. Kind of an altered version of a trust trade is the infamous giveaway scam, where people will tell you that they're giving away items, and there's a trading competition where whoever trades them the highest value item will win, and they'll trade you back the item, and then they'll also give you the prize for the giveaway. This has been around for quite a long time, and the best way to avoid this is just, if you're going to a giveaway and it's anything more complicated than a fashion show or spinning a wheel and you just get the item for free, or first come first serve, or any of those really easy no risk giveaways, don't participate. If they're asking to get an item from you in any way to participate in a giveaway, that is almost 100% a scam, and just avoid all things like that. Believe it or not, there still are people going out and trying to do that scam, but just generally don't give people your items unless you're comfortable never getting them back. Double teaming is another scam method, which involves either two different people or one person with multiple accounts. This is a little bit of a more complex one, so hang with me here. So in a double team scam, one person will have a bunch of really high ticket items on their trade list, like curly antlers, forest gauntlets, the works, and they will be asking for a particular low value but maybe a more obscure item, like old treasure hunts that aren't really worth anything but not a lot of people know about or have. While the second account will have that obscure item on their trade list and will be asking for something incredibly ridiculous for it. For example, they might be asking for the fox desk, and in return be looking for something like forest, while the other account has whiteout on trade and are asking for the fox desk. So thereby, the jammer would think to trade the first account to get the fox desk, giving them their forest, and then trade the fox desk to the second account to get the whiteout, thereby, in kind of a couple steps, getting a major profit. However, what will happen is you'll trade the first account, get the fox desk, and then both accounts will log out. The best way to avoid this scam is just to kind of be aware of your surroundings. If this is something that you notice and that one account is looking for this really specific item with a lot of good things on trade, one, if it's too good to be true, it's probably not true. So just be cautious about that. And also, it's just this whole scam has a very particular look to it. I will include screenshots of what it looks like. So just kind of look out for that kind of behavior. Again, if it's too good to be true, it's probably not true. Now, another scam that's against Animal Jam's TOS explicitly, similar to buying items for real money, is cross-trading. Cross-trading is the act of trading items from Animal Jam Play Wild for items in another game, such as Animal Jam Classic, or Royal High, or Adopt Me, etc., etc. For one, cross-trading is against Animal Jam's terms of service, so again, don't do it. However, it's also a really good way to get scammed, because frequently people will just have you trade them the items on Animal Jam and then never give you the items on Royal High, or vice versa. Just generally, you're just going to lose a bunch of items on Animal Jam or whatever other game you're supposedly cross-trading to. So the best way to do this is to not cross-trade. Just don't do it. Doesn't take a whole lot of thought. Now, the next scam that I'm going to be covering is a little bit of a broad one. It is using different means in the game to obscure the item they are trading you and try to convince you that it's something it's not. Let me explain. There are three major examples of this. One of these, and from what I have seen, the most common example of this, is someone will send their pets, typically rare ones, such as sugar gliders or the exotic penguin. They'll send them on a pet expedition, and so when you put a pet that is out on a pet expedition on trade, it'll just show up as a black silhouette. And so they'll put these pets on expedition, and then trade you these pets and try to say that they're really good colors. Like, oh, here's this penguin I set on expedition. It's triple solid, so it's worth so much. And they'll try to get you to trade them triple solids worth of this penguin, and when in reality it has some garbage colors. And so the best way to avoid this version of the scam is to just tell them to take the pet back from the expedition and don't trade for any pets that are on expedition. And if they refuse to take the pet off the expedition, one, that's really suspicious because you're trading it anyway, so it's not like you're missing out on rewards from the pet. But just generally, don't trade for pets on expeditions. The second version of this scam, which is one that I've almost never seen, but I've heard it brought up before, is the loading spiral scam, where people will put loading spirals on trade and try to tell you that it's just not loading. Now, a loading spiral is an item that you can get from the island that I can't pronounce, and it is just meant to look like a loading asset in Animal Jam. It has like the same animation and everything. However, people have been using it to try to claim that your game is glitching and that they have some really good items on trade. That it's like forest gauntlets, not actually a loading spiral. The best way to avoid this scam is just click the loading spiral on their side of the screen, and it should bring up the page telling you the information about the item and tell you that it's a loading spiral and not forest gauntlets. And if somebody does that, just cancel the trade, report them, and move on. Now, the last and most recent version of this scam is using galaxy potions, and you can use a galaxy potion and turn any item into galaxy colors, any clothing item that's not an alpha anyways. And so what people are doing is they are putting this galaxy potion on a non-rare version of a high-ticket item. For example, they'll put a galaxy potion on a salesman raccoon tail and try to pass it off as a normal raccoon tail. Well, actually, probably more likely the Halloween raccoon tail. Because the Halloween raccoon tail has the rare tag, similar to the normal raccoon tail, which has the rare tag. So they'll put it on trade, tell you that it's a black tip, when really it's just the Halloween version, and try to trade you for a black tip's worth. The best way to avoid this scam is if someone says that, first of all, why would you trade for a Galaxy Raccoon Tail, like, at black tip worth? They just ruined the worth of that item, so just laugh at them for their stupidity. Actually, don't laugh at them, that's kind of mean. But first of all, don't trade for Galaxy high-ticket items that they don't really have any worth. But if you really want to, for whatever reason, you can click the item on their side of the screen to pull up their information, add it to your wish list, and then checking your wish list to see which of the tails were added will tell you which color it is, and so you could check what color it was actually on their side of the trade. And the last scam that I'm going to talk about, and also from what I've seen the most common scam, is adding a bunch of junk to a trade and then removing the good items. For example, let's say someone is trading for your alpha chest, they add forest gauntlets, and then they say that they need some space in their inventory, so they're going to give you a bunch of extra free goodies. So they'll add a bunch of junk pretty much on trade, and then when you go to accept, and you accept, you'll find out that they took away the forest gauntlets at last minute. The best way to avoid this scam is to double check before you accept the trade at the end to make sure that all the items that you're looking for are on the trade. And it's pretty simple. However, a lot of people get very excited when trading for something they really want, and they don't take time to double check. So those are kind of all the scams I wanted to go over. I'm sorry if I sounded kind of unbearable this whole time. I know my throat sounds like garbage, and I also know that I'm talking really fast because I'm out of breath, and I'm trying to talk as quickly as I can to get it over with because I'm still sick and I don't feel great. But thank you for putting up with me anyways, and I hope that with the information that I've given you today, you can keep yourself safe and avoid getting scammed in the future. Again, if you have any scams that I didn't mention, feel free to drop them down in the comments for me. I would really appreciate it. And also, don't forget, on May 10th at 8 a.m. EST, or Eastern Standard Time, I'm going to be hosting a live stream for my birthday. I'll be hosting a second live stream on the same day at 8 p.m. EST, or Eastern Standard Time, also for my birthday. I'm splitting up the live stream into 2 parts so that anyone from any time zone can attend. And there's going to be tons of Sapphire drops and giveaways and mini games and all sorts of fun stuff. And I'll be on voice call in the Discord with people. If you want to join the Discord and be in the voice call, check the description down below where I'll have a link to the Discord. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Stay safe out there, and I'll see y'all around.